All right, let's talk a little bit about the Jet game today with Miami. I do not have much of a feel for this game from an X's and O's standpoint. I just don't. You never know. They're division opponents. Jets stink. They've been playing better. Miami's been pretty good. They stunk last week. So I'm gonna go Shirley MacLaine on you and start talking about superstitious stuff. And if you're any kind of guy who bets on games or plays in pools, then you know about the superstitions in sports about due, and this team is due and that team is due. So I want to start off, before I tell you what I think is going to happen, I want to start off and be honest, and I do not want the Jets to win this game, okay? You can call me a fake fan. I really don't care, because I think the fake fan is the one who settles for better than what we have, and that's just not good enough anymore. We've always wanted better than what we have, and we consistently get worse than what we have. The Jets need to stop, Jet fans, I should say, need to stop hoping for and praying for mediocrity. We don't need mediocrity. We've had it for 10 years, 8 years, 9 years, whatever it is. It's been a long time. So I don't want to hear about fake fan this and we need to do better than this and better than that, and you play to win the game, and you can't root for a loss. I'm not going to sit there. Trust me, I am incapable of sitting watching that game and getting excited when something bad happens to the Jets, or not be happy when something does happen to them. I'm incapable. My head will say, hey, you're supposed to not be happy about that, but I'm just like, yeah. Okay, so let's get that straight, get it out of the way now. That does not mean that as I sit here before the game, or when I sit here after the game, I am going to want the Jets to win, because I do not. It does them no good now, and it is about damn time that they got everything they needed in a franchise quarterback and really started over. They need to get rid of this coach. They need to get a quarterback in here. And for once, the perfect storm is lining up the Jets' way. So no, I don't want them to win this game. However, I can look at this game and see that there's a lot of cosmic forces. A lot of cosmic forces coming together, okay? The Jets and Dolphins, again, are division opponents. They play each other tight most of the time. Sometimes one team will win 4 or 5 straight games, but they're usually close games. They know each other well. You got Fitzpatrick in there. And then let's talk a little bit about due. Okay, some people really, it's like a gambler's fallacy, where they go in and say, all right, well, this team's lost 4 in a row, they're due. Or, this quarterback is normally a 300-yard guy. He's thrown for 200 yards or less in like 3 straight games. He's due. I have fallen for that too. I've learned that it's bullshit. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Due is just it probably fails as much as it helps. But it's something people keep in their minds. So with that said, I'm going to go with due anyway. Okay, the Jets are due. Now, you could look at it 2 ways. Are the Jets due to win, or are they due to get blown out again? And that's the way I'm looking at it, because you could go either way with that. The Jets have been terrible. For 7 of their 10 games, they've been absolutely awful, mind-numbingly awful. And, so they have played much better the last 3 weeks. It happens to be the last 3 games in a row that they've played very well. Now, if these games were scattered, you wouldn't say the Jets might be due. But these games are not scattered. The Jets have almost won 2 of the last 3 games. And last week, they got off to a good start. Adam Gase, the Adam Gase special took over in the middle of the game, and they got blown out for a while, but they came all the way back, almost tied the game. So the Jets have been an NFL caliber team for 3 straight games now. Not a good one, but still an NFL caliber team. So the Jets, one could argue the Jets are due to break through and win. I would buy that argument. They might be due to break through and win. Miami, as well as they've played, is not a great team. They're an up-and-coming team. I think they will be pretty good for a few years. Fitzpatrick's playing, and that could go either way. So the Jets certainly could be due for a win. However, the Jets also could be due to regress and get blown out again, because they almost did last week. New England, the way New England stormed back on the Jets, the Jets, whatever. I'm not gonna beat them up for not being a good team. We already know that. Bottom line is that I strongly feel that this will not be a close Jets win. If it's a close game, a close Jets loss, I should say. If it's a close game, I think it's a Jets win. If the Jets break through and win, then obviously they win. If they do not break through and win, I think the other alternative at this point, after 3 straight weeks of tension and close games and that slingshot all the way back, it's got to go one way or the other. I think the Jets either get blown out or they win the game. I don't think they do what they did the last 3 weeks, which is hang in there and then lose again. Again, that's it goes against everything I said earlier. Do this, do that. The Jets are due, and they're due for either one. And I think the bill comes due this week. The Jets will either win the game or they will get killed. I'm going to go with killed. I would not be surprised if the Jets broke through and won this game, but I just think that finally, and again, talking cosmic stuff, I just think that finally the Jets seem to be headed in the right direction and everything's happening. They're headed for a top 1 or 2 draft pick. They are headed for a potential franchise quarterback. They have a GM who knows what he's doing, the cap space, the draft picks, all of that stuff. The quarterback situation, if this was Sam Darnold's second year, we probably don't draft a quarterback. If it's Sam Darnold, if the Jets had an established quarterback, they wouldn't be in this position. So it's kind of all coming together. And I think that kind of continues and the Jets get blown out, and that will help them in their quest for the number 1 pick. And if you don't believe the number 1 pick and getting Trevor Lawrence, if he's everything they're making him out to be, will be helpful. A hell of a lot more helpful than winning 1 game against a shit-ass division opponent that, if we do the right thing, we can dominate for 10 years, then you're short-sighted, and I'm sorry. I'm more than happy to discuss it with you. If you want to comment below, we'll talk about it. So I'm going to go with blowout. And that is not because I want them to get blown out. I mean, I just think it's more likely that the Jets being as bad a team as they are, Miami being a better team, I think it's much more likely that Miami will break through and kick the Jets' asses, and the Jets just don't have a 4th straight game of hanging close in them and losing again. I think, of course, tomorrow they're going to hang tight and lose, but I think the Jets will get killed tomorrow. I'm thinking something like 30-13, and I don't mean killed like 45-0 killed, but 30-13 at home and against a team that's not that great. That's a nice thrashing. I think the Jets probably do what they normally do, look decent in the first quarter, and then I think Miami just kind of turns it on. And again, this is all on feel. This is not an analysis in any way. You notice I didn't analyze anything in the game at all. So that's it. All right, Miami 30, Jets 13. Lay the points if you're betting, and then we'll talk about the game. I'm sure afterwards I'll have plenty of comments about it because I always do. Have a great one.